Right, well, you join me on the banks of what's been a really, really good week and what's been a really, really good month and a great start to the spring for myself. What I want to do very quickly is just go through some of the bits and pieces that I've been using recently in my fishing to catch fish up to £30. Now, it's going to sound very boring and sound very, very cliche, but I've been using Ronnie rigs. And for anyone that's not anti-Ronnie, but doesn't see the use of a Ronnie, I really do think you're missing out on a trick. Yes, there's 100,000 other pop-up rigs, and I really do get that. But the beautiful thing with a Ronnie is I can have a load tied up, and then all I simply do, and all I simply think needs to be changed, to change it for situations, for applications, is to just change the boom that it sits on. Now, I have been using, the last couple of weeks, just the size 8s. I've always been a big size 4s fan, but for some of the fish I've been fishing for, they're quite tricky little fish. And for me, a smaller hook has potentially put more fish on the bank for me. I have had some on some size 4s as well. I'm not going to kid, that's absolutely my favourite size, but I have refined a little bit down for some of the applications I've been using, smaller mouth fish, etc, etc. But for me, Power Curve's absolutely one of, if not the best, curve shanked pattern on the market. Incredibly sharp, incredibly strong. Some of the situations I put them under in the last couple of weeks have very much been hit and hold situations where if the gear wasn't up to scratch, I would have lost those fish. So that's the Power Curves, and as I say, I tie up a load, simple quick change swivel, bit of shrink tube, shrink them over, micro ring swivel. You don't need to be taught how to tie a Ronnie, but what I do is I have a load of them tied up so that whenever I hit a situation, I can adapt to it, use that favourite pop-up rig, but then change the booms. And what do I mean by changing the booms? So here's 3 of the bits and pieces I've been using of late. Now, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I have been using a bait boat for the last 2 trips, purely because the venue allows them, first of all, and some of the situations I was fishing in, a bait boat was the way to get the rig into position. Quietly, stealthy, don't get me wrong, none of those places I've put those rigs I couldn't have cast to, but for the ability to drive in, drop quite a heavy quantity of bait as I have been, it was paramount to do that quietly. And what that's allowed me to do is use silk wire. When I use a braided hook link, I need to be 100% sure that it's not tangled. When you put it in a bait boat hopper, put in 2 little pop-ups in a mesh bag to hold it up off the bottom and let it drop down, I know 100% that that cannot be tangled, because it drops out, it stays high and then snakes down. It's got no casting, it's got nothing it can wrap around. Benefits to this, incredibly strong, super supple, and super sort of camouflaged, if you like. So as I say, I've been using that when I've been boating underneath bits and pieces, close up towards snag areas, and also just in open water. I think that supple braid just means that when it's all coiled down on the bank, when those fish suck into those baits, it absolutely wallops back, and all of the hook holes I've had with this braid of late have been absolutely nailed right the way back. I think the whole hook link goes in, they don't feel anything on their lip, and they certainly just suck it in and it's over. The hook's turned and it's game over. So silk wire has been one of the ones I've been using. And then moving on to the other 2, obviously jelly wire and ghost butterfly, slightly stiffer and used in different situations. Now, I use an IQ D-rig, or a fluorocarbon D-rig with a ghost butterfly, as well as using it as a boom. For me, an absolute all-round killer hook link. Yet again, all the things that we'd expect, super strong, abrasion resistant. But as of late, I've been using long Blue Ant leaders and then a fluorocarbon rig. And to me, there is nothing more minimal and nothing more concealed, especially as the fish are a little, they're moving about a little bit more, but they're still very, very wary. Fluorocarbon, big long fluorocarbon leader, followed by fluorocarbon hook link or fluorocarbon boomed rig. It means that everything stays out the way, concealed and pinned down. So that's that. And then jelly wire, I mean, we hark on about jelly wire. It is absolutely bomb proof. As I said, the situation a few weeks back I was fishing was very much hit and hold situation, because if you let them have 2 millimeters of line, they were into the back of the trees. And all of my kit was really being tested to its maximum. And that's the thing, is like a lot of people say, why would you lose a leader? For me, it's something that you can cut on and take off. to suit your requirements. Some venues don't allow them, in which case use some of the tubing, absolutely bomb-proof. But for me, something that I can get sunk out of the way that is stronger than anything. So if I am in a tight situation where snags are in the way or bars or anything like that, leaders come into play for that, and super, super strong kit. And that's sort of my piece of advice from this video, if you like, is reliability is the biggest key to success. If you know that you can exert as much pressure as your rod, reel, line, hook link, hook will take, it means that whenever you're in those situations, you're not thinking about it. It's automatic. Your body allows you to give it the butt, if you like. The situation allows you to hit it harder, etc., etc. And for me, reliability is key on that. PB Products range, outstanding. As I said, it's got a home in European angling. So in the UK, everything that is in that kit list will stand up to the test of time. It's bulletproof and it's strong. And that's just some of the things I've been using this here. What I will be doing is trying to keep up to date with all the bits and pieces I'm doing, the fishing I'm doing, the situations I'm going to find myself in, and the kit from PB that I've been using. But for me, those boom systems and how you can change a boom link to suit your situation is absolutely vital.